benefit. If you go forehand line too early against Sasha, he's going to get John on the run cross court with his pure backhand, and that just isn't a great look for John. So I do think this is a complicated matchup for John off the ground, because he's got to figure out a way to kind of protect his backhand out here, and his natural style, as I say, is very linear off the forehand to then back into the forehand court. He won't get that luxury against Zverev with the cross court backhand. It's too quick.
Given the 6 victories in their 8 previous meetings, no surprise with a 74% win predictor for Team Zverev and Team Europe. So it was nice too when you get out onto the match course on day one, get used to the conditions, as what these guys did yesterday evening. Fabulous doubles. Team World were able to win in the end. How closely will Isner be able to perform to what was a mercurial performance yesterday late into the evening, where he literally took the match by the scruff of the neck and kept Team World in it. There's work to be done here. It's a nice positive start.
Well, Laver getting the ovation he deserves. I think a 124-mile-an-hour serve from John Isner is below average. He is a 127 on average server.
It's a lovely little volley as well. 4th appearance in the Laver Cup for Isner. 9 matches coming into day 1 here in Boston. 6-4 now is the overall record. 15 points earned. His team. Nice positive body language there initially. They weren't sure of the challenge, that's for sure. Your Captain McEnroe there is one of his first guys you put on your team sheet.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's got good energy. He's good in all formats of the game, doubles, singles. He's going to compete hard out here. I like the fact that he's already served the volley. I think you'll see a lot of serving from John into the forehand as Zverev. It's a much shorter reply in general from the German compared to his backhand, so that's going to be crucial for him. How he diffuses the power from Zverev's first serve is going to be interesting. He's a guy, the German, who can drop it in on average at 131 miles an hour.
So on average.
Yeah, that's on average.
So what would you advise, given Isner's style of play, to do when returning?
I'd like to see him try and block a few back early on, just to kind of give Zverev the thought that that might be something he's going to do with the big serve rather than trying to drive through it. Just to make it early on. I think being erratic as well is, you know, it does have some sort of sense of logic against big servers as well. Trying to just connect with a couple at the right time is definitely the way that the mindset that you have to have. Can't consistently block to a length every single time as well, so sometimes you have to try and drive through it. But here's where you've got to be at your most productive. Where does John go? It's about, I would say, Jason, half a metre back from where he was in the Laver Cup in Geneva in terms of second serve return position. He was a little bit closer in, and I actually think that worked pretty well for him. I don't want to see him too far back unless he's getting jammed into the body.
I know it's a different format, but certainly in the doubles yesterday evening, he returned incredibly well, didn't he? And took the ball so up. So it can be done. have that ability. He just picked his spots, threw the ball, and timed it wonderfully well. Response out of that corner. He was under a fair bit of pressure there, but no problem at all for Zverev. Just favour that forehand cross court.
Good was his forehand in Cincinnati, Zverev. He was up at averaging 80 miles an hour off that wing in Cincinnati. That's a great pace for him. He's up at 78 miles an hour this season. That shows that he's got confidence in the swing. He's throwing the racket head, good racket head acceleration on that side. It's been as well, apart from the second serve, the Achilles heel at the very elite level against some of the better players. It's looking pretty rock solid right now in the last couple of months.
Much better season than Isner in terms of the overall results. John hasn't played a great deal of tennis. Just the one title won in Atlanta, a couple of semi-finals. First playing during that North American hard court swing. There. Just in terms of the sound of these two moving around the court, you can hear there's a significant difference. Isner stomping his feet, Zverev seemingly moving with a little more fluidity, therefore able to defend just a little more effectively than perhaps Isner does.
Not easy for any of these Team World players coming out playing catch up here. Obviously, big hope was that they could kind of get off to a good start. Hasn't happened so far.
That's why that first match of day 2 was so crucial, wasn't it? Suddenly it could be 3 apiece as far as the overall score was concerned. If Kyrgios was able to get the win, all of a sudden you find yourself 5-1 down. That was always the concern when speaking to Captain John McEnroe prior to the start of the first ball. He said historically they'd always started poorly on day 1 and then they'd play catch up the rest of the weekend. So they'd done remarkably well, but he didn't want that to happen again here, but it has.
A little surprised Zverev's been beaten without a 30. I mean, I understand it on the opening point of the game. We'll keep an eye on where John goes on the opening point of the game with his first serve in general. But he does like to go wide and wide on the deuce on that side on big points. And you're kind of early on, you're going to go with the pattern and see whether he's going to change it up. And again,
remarkable serving. They are his favourites. Isner. Good hole. 2-1 first set. It's always been an interesting point of discussion throughout Isner's career as to the best course of action was when returning. He always holds serve relatively comfortably.
Second serve returns, he's scary.
I believe we have crafted a solution. We engage with companies creating ocean impact and preventing plastic pollution practices.
Maybe you should stand in a little closer.
They're on it.
Yeah. I mean, just if you're missing
concerning as far as Isner's concerned and those tall players are concerned? Do you just go for broke and hope that 4 land and you're going to hold and that's good enough? Or do you make more and base your results on consistency?
It's a great question. I've always been bothered by the fact that he's been so far in at times and not connected and not gambled enough. I don't mind him being inside the baseline, but gamble, crack it, because then if he hits it conservatively, he then has to take a 2.5 meter walk back behind the baseline and be a little bit off balance for his next shot. That's always been my concern when he's been well inside the baseline. And John McNamara and him were discussing that a little bit at the changeover there, and John was actually saying just get in a little bit closer, and I like that play. Isner started here a fraction deeper on his second serve position. Looks like he's trying to make a few more. Not sure if that's going to be the right play long term. We'll find out.
Has had a superb season, 4 titles, all started for him in Porto. Since passing the final there, then Madrid beat Berrettini in the championship match, 6-3 in the third, the Olympic gold, which was of course huge, beat Ashnov in the final, Djokovic in the semis, and then Cincinnati over Rublev, 2-3. A couple of semi-finals, of course, with Roland Garros and the US Open, so he's performed well in the majors, keeps knocking on the door. The US Open back in 2020, of course, 2 points away from victory there. There was a lot of discussion that perhaps it was going to be Djokovic's sternest test when he played him in the semi-finals of the US Open.
2 games on.
There's no doubt that he continues to improve season upon season. And this year in particular, Mark's serving so much more effectively.
Yeah, he is. You know, he's got less double faults per match this year than he has in recent times. I think he's gaining confidence on that particular part. So he does have a little bit of a technical, I would, in inverted commas, flaw. He does open the racket face quite a lot at the back of the swing, which I think contributes to those double faults. I feel like it is something he could perhaps cure with a little bit of help over the off-season as well, which would make his serve even more potent, which is a scary thought.
Shame.
Love 15.
Scahood seems to have taken to this particular competition very nicely indeed. Continue off to a perfect start yesterday, his debut.
Hindrance, yes. Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
It was a great dig. What a rally. You had a little bit of everything thrown into the mix there.
Love 30.
Just listen to this.
Mr. Yes, come on.
Just thought he'd hit a winner there, didn't he? Tremendous dive from Zverev. John knows the rules, so good call by Mohamed there. All of a sudden, he's 15 all, 30 now.
He ended up calling it on himself, didn't he, John? What's the thought going into where he served here? He's pumped quite a few out wide already on this ad side. Of course, Zverev's forehand return will land shorter if he does make it than his backhand in general.
Another do over there. Very makeable backhand.
Yeah, credit to John there for the serve and volley. He does not want to get into too many baseline rallies. We showed you from Geneva how once they got into a rally and he won 50 of those points, 28 of them came at the net for John Isner in terms of his win over Zverev. And already we've seen the serve and volley come into play off the first serve, this time on the second serve. Although for most people at 121 miles an hour, that's the first serve that he came in on.
Variation there too.
Yeah, it's funny, you get away with that and it all looks good, but I'd actually say against Zverev, that's not a great play out to his forehand. It's a kind of rolled return that he likes. He tends to hit it just over the service line naturally, which would mean that John's hitting his first volley, you know, pretty much around his ankles in general. If Zverev gets hold of that, it's a risky policy.
Yep, second service.
Certainly take one or two risks there, serving and volleying behind those second serves, but gets the job done and leads 3-2 in this opening set.
3 games to go.
This is the 9th meeting between these two players. Jim Courier coming courtside here, but these guys have known each other quite a bit longer than their time on tour. Of course, the Zverev family moved over from Germany into Florida, and they set up shop training there with their brother Misha. Sasha's older brother was the focus. Sasha was just a young boy, about 10 years old. It was his mom who would spend most of the time training. And, well, another player who trained at that same facility, the Saddlebrook area of Tampa, John Isner. So they've known each other a long time. So for Sasha, being around the environment of a great pro like John Isner, that was just how he grew up. Not afraid of him. I think that's reflected in a record. 6-2 head-to-head for Sasha in this record. That's not easy to do against John Isner, and he got some of those wins very early as well. So they've known each other a long time. Old friends on the court again.
Enjoying our live coverage of the Laver Cup here in Boston, day 2, second match of the afternoon session featuring Alexander Zverev from Team Europe against John Isner from Team World. Stefano Tsitsipas beating Nick Kyrgios in the first match of the day, 6-3, 6-4. It's Europe 5-1 lead in the overall score. The overall scoreline can change very quickly. With 2 points for a win today, and of course 3 tomorrow.
Interesting times. That forehand's looking fragile for Zverev. Two terrific returns from Isner. Darted into that particular shot. Easy pickings. May have missed a couple when they were coming in quicker. He's not missing that.
Oh, it's unlucky. Didn't miss by much. Might just be 1-2 shots like that Isner needs to fall for him when returning.
Just 15% of the returns blocked by Isner. It's an interesting number, 15% for him in terms of block returns off the first serve for John. You kind of feel as though obviously he doesn't have a great record in terms of return games won. You just feel as though if he could find a way to be a little more proficient at that particular shot, how many more balls he would be able to get into play. The block return is such a good shot when you can keep it low, keep the net as the obstacle against the big servers.
What type of block would you like to see?
Both on both sides. Good slice, good acceleration through the shot. You know, he's Felix Auger-Aliassime down at 11% on Team World side. Those are low numbers, I think, in a game that's getting taller with bigger serves. I think the block return and the slice backhand are going to be a couple of massive shots for players over the next 5 to 10 years.
Dennis shot that off too.
Yeah, Dennis obviously as well. Unless you've grown up playing a certain way. Obviously Daniel Medvedev, you know, is a prime example of somebody that doesn't need to necessarily learn that too often because he's so good at returning from deep. He can drive through the ball. His is almost a ground stroke, not a return.
Now.
135 coming in here from at the American. That is some serious heat off the racket of John Isner. Feeling the ball well. Saw it yesterday in the doubles.
Curious back out on the bench now. Obviously would have really loved to have got a win, but competed exceptionally hard, particularly the tail end of the second set. Almost was able to break back and make life a little more difficult for Tsitsipas. Always a really effective tactic to use against the tall opponents. Serve at the hips, the chest if you can, and certainly Isner has the ability to do that, given the amount of bounce that he can get out of the court, even a fairly slow one like this.
Teamwork, World, please.
Zverev guessing some wonderful serving there, another nice comfortable hold. Team World up 4-3 in this opening set.
Team World with 4 games to 3. World team please.
That's a whole forward looking. I like it. It doesn't help the forward doesn't help me with the side.
Okay guys, I'm out of the stands with Emil, who's here from the Dominican Republic, and here's an opportunity for you to edition Laver Cup.
That was some deep analysis there of what's been going on, Jason.
When you're here, you are right.
They'll ask him why he's
Are you ready? All
where's his
right, take a look at the video
backwards.
boards, everybody. And here's today's question.
Maybe trying
Who's
to
the only
take
male tennis player to win 2 calendar year Grand Slam titles? Is it A, Roger Federer, B, Rod Laver, C, John Newcomb, or D, Novak Djokovic? Emil, if you get this right, you're going home with a limited edition Laver Cup record from our friends at Head. What do you think, buddy?
It's all about the headgear.
You think it's
Takes
B,
all
Rod
sorts
Laver?
wherever
You're
it gets it done.
absolutely right. And there you go. Let's hear it for Emil. And a big thank you to our friends from Head for giving us this great giveaway.
At time.
As far as John McEnroe is concerned with John Isner, he's so focused, he's so amped up. It's very much a case of just stepping back and allowing him to compete just like he did yesterday in the doubles. So far so good. He's with a slender leads, holding serve. He's yet to try and solve the puzzle correctly of getting that vital break of serve. He's serving with the new balls here, so they will travel to the edge just a little bit quicker. You mentioned at the start of the match the difficulty of Isner going down the line with the forehand. Similarly there, inside in with his forehand. He's always just going to start doing a lot of running if he doesn't hit a winner, isn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's a quality ball response from Zverev off the forehand side there to be able to get John on the run. But yeah, he's got to make it count big time. Every single time.
Such a discrepancy between these two in terms of the quality of aggressive defense out of the corners.
That is a collection of crowd strokes that anyone would have been proud of. That was absolutely elite from Zverev. The length was very, very good from John Isner, and that wasn't a bad little slice. Dispatched emphatically by the 24-year-old.
Players now understanding that they've got to get down so low for those shots. They're checking on the court, staying low, this gritty top surface. Nice thin contact there. So those players that were able to play yesterday, using all of that knowledge to good effect here on day 2. That time he read the serve and all those dipping returns. He focused on earlier, causing Isner all sorts of problems.
Yeah, because the serve's so big. Look, where's John's having to hit his first volley more often than not behind the service line. And with that kind of return, it's going to be a tricky one for him to hit aggressively. miles an hour up on his second serve pace on average for the season here. Zverev, he's up around, John, he's up around 115 miles an hour. He's usually incredibly at 112 miles an hour. When you think of the infrequency that he serves double faults, it's amazing how reliable this serve is, but he's getting after it, and that one again coming in at 121 miles an hour. He's not giving Zverev any time on this return, and you can see that's caused Zverev to drop even deeper.
They do have plenty of room on this court, don't they? Goes back for miles.
14, 15.
Just by much. Away with that one. Hit his spot with the slice serve there, but did enough. Managed to hold his own. Those are front one spots. 5-4 now opening set. No breaks as yet, not which of the two will be happiest for us.
I think they're both comfortable, to be honest, Jason. I think that Zverev understands he's got a lot of pressure. A lot of characterised thoughts on serve at this stage. Will be pretty much what the pre-match strategy was.
Because through our experiences,
Zverev's racket company has produced that lovely racket for this particular event. You know, nice bit of red and blue out there for the Laver Cup. You know, sometimes when there's just new different sort of paint jobs and cosmetics and everything else in a racket, it can feel a little bit different in the hand. You just saw him tapping it there at the end of that game. His forehand hasn't been quite where he would like it to be if he's going to get past it today.
Players historically, they don't like doing changing the paint jobs, do they? Match 6, 4th Laver Cup here in Boston, around the Garden. Day 2, second match of the afternoon session. Evening session gets underway at 7 p.m. Eastern. Daniil Medvedev makes his first appearance up against Denis Shapovalov. Then we got a little doubles thereafter. Rublev and Tsitsipas up against Isla and Kyrgios. So often from Isla where he takes a cut at the ball, but he just can't time it as sweetly as he would want. It's always been a problematic shot for him.
Entirely sure what Zverev was complaining about. I mean, I know he was talking about the big screen. Here we go.
They go for a close-up again. Same thing as this.
They do have live shots on the Jumbotron all the time, don't they?
Yeah, he was not happy about a close-up or something. It was the same thing, of course, wasn't it, against Lloyd Harris on set point. In their match at the US Open, Lloyd up set point, and there was a good couple of minutes break there while he was complaining, Zverev that is, of the big screen and the replays that were coming on it all of a sudden.
Big difference there. I think in the US Open they wouldn't have the live tennis on throughout the point, would they?
They were actually on Ash, because it's so high up. I was also surprised, because I was sitting courtside for that particular match, and they were actually showing the live tennis all the way through. What was bothering him was when he was looking up and he was getting like there was a replay. It wasn't just the live pictures all the time.
Oh, he's landed it, I think. Didn't he just?
15-all.
Amazing shot. Look at where he is. Incredible.
Continues to have a lot of success with the slider.
13-15.
That's just doing the basics very well. Well, in fact, both of them are doing the basics very well. We've become accustomed to looking at players now dropping in 70% of their first serves. That used to be a very high number in the past, but nowadays it kind of feels very much normal. Zverev up at 74%, to be honest. %, so a few chances to look at second serves.
This is the one surprising number in this opening set, with being able to win all 6 of his second serve points, and that's where you've got to try and make some inroads if you can. Many looks on the opponent's second serve, but if you start to really punish them, it can affect the first serve too. No problems there for us. 6-5 in this opening set. These two do have a lot of history, Mark. Has anything surprised you in this opening set as far as the matchups concerned?
Not really, to be honest, Jason. I mean, you kind of know that they're going to try and vary their serves up. They're both going to target the forehand more often than not, I think, when there's a big point to try and sort of get that return that goes a little bit shorter. But obviously, if you know that, then obviously you know your opponent knows that. If you're thinking that, you're wondering whether they're thinking it, they're going to sit there. They're the lovely little things that you kind of get to watch unfold, even though they played each other 8 times. This is the 9th. You kind of know that there's going to be a few little moments where they're going to have to kind of navigate what the opponent will probably be thinking at that stage. I think they've both done everything that we would expect them to do. They've been rock solid on serve, no break points available for either. They're into a break.
皆さんのプレーはそうですね。なんか深い分の話、 пойдет он что-то приедает. Я его только что вот, он подал.
Не, он круто подавал. Ты главное не циклись на под него подачи, потому что как только продаешь шанс, у него шансов нету. У него единственная надежда это подача. И он подает ее, блядь, всю в линию. Там будет момент, когда он ее не подаст. Давай.
Time.
It was a fascinating scenario as far as Team Europe are concerned. They don't do a lot of coaching off the bench, but then occasionally someone will pop in and add a little bit of advice, and then next time it'll be somebody else. So they pick and choose their moments, but it works well.
And in a variety of languages.
He needs to hold here to take us into a breakout.
15 love.
Yes, the 3 points dropped so far. Rublev there. Russian, I think it was, with Zverev. We played a bit of doubles later with Tsitsipas.
Who also will be speaking a little bit of Russian via his mum. A little bit down in terms of return pace compared to Geneva Jonathan today. He's fractionally further back, and that conservative policy hasn't really worked out, as you say, Jason, on the second serve. Return points won so far, yet to nab one off Zverev's second serve, 7 for 7 still.
Makes such a big difference, doesn't it, to the mindset of a big server when they're not being challenged when they miss their first serve.
Yeah, it does, and that's where I feel like John just needs to challenge Zverev's forehand a little bit more. Just pulls the trigger down the line. Almost at 40% in general, his forehand goes down the line compared to cross court. I mean, most players are 50-50 at least, or many more up around 55% of their forehands that go cross court. He's a particularly low number for John.
Doing very nicely. Tsitsipas shot so well in the opening match of the day.
Yep.
Amazing bit of courtside there, just see how hard he's able to hit it, but yet still create angles too.
Beautiful movement from John as well. You watch him move on the diagonal. It was a subtle diagonal move, but he cut the angle off, just got himself inside the baseline for that last forehand.
Making the decision there to be more aggressive with it, to take more of a risk with it. Nothing wrong with that. And 6 apiece now. Isn't it yesterday in the last match of the day in the doubles excels in that second set tie-break, which you went comfortably, I think 7 points to 2, and then an absolutely outstanding breaker, winning that 10 points to 1. So we're looking to continue that rich vein of form here. Nice, nifty footwork. Take the stars in the serve, isn't he? Going the wrong way there.
2-1, Team Europe.
There you go, big man.
Not just the pace, which is incredible at 136 miles an hour out wide, it was how short it was with that pace attached to it.
Even if you're expecting that as one of his favourite Panzer plays, is there anything you can do about that?
No, that's too good. The thing is about John as well, he can't cheat on his serve because it's out of his hand for such a fraction of a second. You see, Troy tried, but I almost feel as though John will be able to see you.
The fans plenty to cheer in the last match of day one.
Team World.
Team World's solitary wins so far in the doubles, and it's a similar scenario here. Now what can he do here? This is a chance. How aggressive will he be?
A great second serve from Zyrev, 104, around average for him. He certainly didn't take a huge risk himself, but as you say, John was looking to be very impactful with that return, trying to hit it and come in. I think it was the right play, just didn't execute it particularly well.
9 for 9 now, as far as second serve points won for Zverev. Very healthy number. But it might only take one to separate these two. There's nothing to choose between them currently.
Accuracy down the tee has been phenomenal in this opening set from Zyrev. Drills another one, so close to the line.
It's been a masterclass, hasn't it? As far as serving is concerned for both players. They're trying to work out the best course of action when they do get a look at a second serve, but few and far between given the exceptional numbers they posted in terms of first serve percentage too. Still both up in the 70s.
Zverev even deeper here.
Tremendous return.
Didn't find the location this time, did he? He found the pace. It was 135 miles an hour, but look at where it lands. It didn't have the shortness to it. And Zverev's backhand was truly remarkable.
He draws first blood for Team Europe.
And Zverev was all over that serve out wide. Got just the 1 point, isn't it, when he's gone out wide off that first serve, and Zverev took the gamble and he was on it. It'll be interesting to see where the American goes now. Oh, went there again.
Now where?
I think he's committed to it. That's a game of bluff and double bluff now for these two. I think Zyberev, who's shifted out wide here as well, not just gone deep, he's actually taken up a wider stance. He's almost goading Isner to go deep.
Which is a dangerous game to play. He responded wonderfully well. Keeps him in the hunt.
Those are the beautiful kind of invisible chess moves that you have in a match where you just know that everything is kind of circulating around in both players' minds about the possibilities that are coming at them.
Sensitive forehand there.
He took off the first serve as well. We talk about the forehand being tentative. He was not brave. It's cost him.
So close to landing.
How has that not gone over at that pace? How has that stayed on Isner's side? What a wobble. 100-mile-an-hour return off a first serve.
I cannot believe it. These matches swinging one way and then the other. The narrowest of margins. Set point for Team Europe here. He's just missed the volley.
Team Europe.
Called just long. Zyberev effective returns in the outcourt is enough to seal the sets. 7 games to 6.
He gave you 2 chances and you took both of them. This one and the one at 4-3 is crazy. Bravo, bravo. Fuck.
No, that's unlucky for John Isner. No question about that. Had that forehand return gone in, who knows? Maybe the whole set would have changed on that particular shot. He was incredibly bereft of good fortune that the ball didn't go over. He certainly deserved it for the commitment he had to that shot. As we look at the numbers, both players getting up towards 3/4 of their first serves, finding their target, and when they're up around the 130 mark on average with their first serve speeds, it's just incredible that they can be as reliable. Another titanic set between these two teams, Team Europe and Team World. It started with a smile and it may well end up with another win for Team Europe unless Isner can just find a way to steal a couple of those significant points away from Team Europe, who have just had the better of it so far in the opening day and a half here at the Boston TD Garden. It's been the colour blue. There's been enough good tennis on show for Isner to believe that he can still turn this one around. Did so in the doubles last night.
First set, Team Europe.
Delights for Alexander Zverev. It just seems like happened in that tiebreak there has been the story of all of these Laver Cup competitions as far as Team World are concerned. They've come tantalizingly close to winning so many sets and so many matches, and yet have failed to do so, and that has reflected itself in the overall scorelines and the fact that Team Europe have won all 3 of the previous Laver Cups and do have a substantial lead here on day 2 in Boston. 3-1 up after the opening day, and it was 1 point apiece for a win here. That's 2 points.
Second set.
And 6 pass already with a win over Kyrgios, so extended the lead for Team Europe. It's 5-1 now, and Zverev is set to the good here. Shot in the end from Zverev. He's done a pretty good job of Isner defending out of that corner.
Well, you can ooh and ah at the miss from John Isner, but let's ooh and ah about the movement of Sasha Zverev there. That was an incredible run from him. That was feathery touch from John Isner. He wasn't even sure that he would made the drop shot. You could see from the way that he had moved his body off the forehand drop shot he'd made, and yet Zverev was there and did something with it, more importantly.
Absolutely incredible athleticism there. So Zverev manages to get the holds. Team Europe lead 1-love in the second set. Courtside now, Jim Courier.
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, I'm doing what you were doing. I'm loitering with intent here, trying to get a word with the captain, John McEnroe here. I think he's coming our way. Mac, look, this match is just so tight. No one's able to get through on serve. What can you tell John to help him get more involved in Sasha's service games?
That's a good question. I mean, Sasha's serving, both guys are serving huge. So, I mean, you got to take advantage of a couple chances. He had that look at 5-ball, man. I don't know. I think that net's made in Europe or something, because that was so unlucky. I mean, we deserved that.
It's a tough day for you guys just on paper. You're facing the number 2, 3, and 4 singles players. A realistic goal, a split today? Is that something you were thinking about?
Yeah, but we were hoping for more, but it ain't going to be easy. Okay.
All right, good luck.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jim. And Mark, as we discussed, chances are going to be few and far between. And again, you're talking about millimetres, aren't you, on that forehand return?
Yep.
We will have to check who manufactured them.
Looks like some good Sheffield steel.
That's exactly right.
Especially in the net tape.
Difficult too, both Kyrgios and Isner have done their utmost. Get the fans involved here. They've supported Team World so well throughout the weekend so far. They've enjoyed the tennis. It's been highly competitive, but they would love to get on a little bit of a roll. Oh, again, that's fabulous movements from Zverev. Point construction from Isner.
40 love. He's got such good hands, John, hasn't he? I mean, he really does have such good. In some ways, and I know this is going to sound sort of pretty ludicrous, it's almost been counterproductive for him to be so good off the ground. People are saying, oh, that's madness, what you're talking about. But it's almost given him too many options. He's almost too good. I mean, he's obviously not going to be as good a mover as Zverev is. You can see that out here, how balanced Sasha is. It's just a little bit tougher for John being the highest. But he is so good off the ground and with great touch around the net, off the drop shots. It almost allows him to stay in rallies, I feel, almost too long. So when he gets out onto the, extremities of the court, he almost rallies rather than almost just takes the risk and tries to hit the big shot, and at times just taking a big shot in the middle of the rally. It's like, well, I can rally for 50 shots, so why shouldn't I? Which you understand the logic, but if he had more of a deficiency in his game, he'd probably roll the dice more often. Would he be more effective? We'll never know.
Fascinating discussion, isn't it? Because we saw Andy Roddick here courtside earlier today with Roger Federer. I remember Brad Gilbert, when he started working with Andy, said, "You're a big server. We need you to obviously keep the points nice and short. But I tell you what, when you're returning, I don't want you to allow your opponent to get into any kind of rhythm at all. So I want you to go big, or I want you to go home. But if you start feeling you're getting involved in the rally, just pull a shoot, because I don't want your opponent to start feeling confident about holding serve." So there are different mindsets and game plans, aren't they?
So I'd like to see Zverev hitting more forehand shot, to be honest. Out there, single score and further out. If John can kind of just change up the kind of patterns that he likes, just to try and pull him out there, get something a little shorter back with the spin that Zverev hits his forehand with.
Nice and solid on serve in the second set. Team Europe leads 2 games to 1 already. Of course, they got off to the best possible start today with Tsitsipas beating Kyrgios in straight sets. And here's what Kyrgios had to say about that loss.
Man, I'm disappointed that I can't come through, to get some points on the board. But, I'm soaking up every moment out here at this special event. I've gone through an incredibly tough last year with some off-court issues, and, I'm not taking anything for granted to be here again alongside Johnny, Pat, and these incredible teammates, and to play some of the best players in the world. It's special for me. And as I said, I'm not going to say it's my last Laver Cup, but I don't know how much longer I will be around, tennis. So it was just great. I took every moment in today.
Of course, he would have dearly loved to have beaten Tsitsipas, and that would have allowed Team World to get back on level terms, but it wasn't to be. Got to be patient. big server like this, in a situation like this, because you know you might get another opportunity, but at the very least, got to keep holding serve, give yourself a chance to get into another tie break. The way that scoring format works here is so useful if you're a set down. As long as you can keep holding in the second set, you're a couple of breakers away from winning. It's exactly what he did in the doubles in the fourth match of the opening day. Lost the opening set, won the second on a breaker, and then stormed away in the Laver breaker, 10 points to 1, and very quickly turned that match on its head. So the confidence of doing so again here. One of those rallies I think you were referencing earlier, right? So the longer it goes, the more I feel Zverev's going to win the vast majority of that.
Yeah, he just isn't going to hurt him out of it. The other thing that I think John, throughout the course of his career, has done is played a little too much open stance backhand as well. I mean, he's obviously a tall guy. I always feel like when you play parallel, which is stepping his right foot forward and going sideways on, you know, it naturally sinks you down on the court. You want to lose height on a tennis court. You don't want to be as tall as you are off it. And because of it, I kind of feel he ends up hitting the ball quite late on his backhand. It's a lot easier. When you watch Novak, I mean, we revel in the world #1's open stance backhand, but if he has an opportunity to get behind the ball and hit it parallel, he pretty much does the whole time, unless he's just kind of wanting to knuckle down and rally and get himself back to the middle of the court. I feel as though that would have been also, if he could have just changed that a little bit, and maybe 30% of the time is to get behind the ball parallel and drive through his backhand, would have been beneficial.
He only just made the smash there. Roller, hang on in there. 14 of 21 points at the net so far. 3 of 4 here in the second.
How low Zverev sinks into his backhand. It's a gorgeous looking shot. It's not just the stroke production, but it's also the ability for him to get down and live with that ball to be able to drive through it.
Just dropping back here as he gets a look at his second. Yesterday we saw Berrettini attempt that, but he couldn't quite get his range or his rhythm when doing so. But that was a much better return there from Zverev.
Yeah, it was great. It was very good. I mean, it wasn't just the pace on it, it was the depth that he managed to attach to that ball.
Oh, it's another one of those wonderful backhand returns down the line. Full stretch too. Initially he was moving in the wrong direction, so such a good change of direction there and still maintaining control of the racket head. Incredible shot making. Look at disbelief there from Isner. He's fashioned himself a half chance here at deuce. He fancied it.
And rightly so, because that isn't down the line from there. That's a cross-court forehand. And he likes that shot, and he had the space there. No chance Isner can cover this.
Seeing the ball really well now on that return when he just drops back a little deeper to give himself a little more time.
It's just tough for John when he, to be able to cover the ground. So his split step on the serve and volley is a little later than it should be because he's still trying to get himself to the service line, inside the service line. So therefore his balance isn't perfect to be able to take the one step to try and cover something that goes wide of him. He's still moving through the center of the court, which means his reach is just that much shorter.
Balance too, right? So even if you do put racket on ball, volley is not quite as potent.
That thing had so much swing on it, might have ended up in the Charles River if it hadn't been for that advertising board. Beautiful.
Just started to get a little bit of traction in that service game there, so it's a good hold from Isner. Speaking of that slice serve to the right court, does anybody have a better one than Isner?
I think Roger had a better one.
Rogers was pretty good as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think for his height, I would have to say that Rogers was better. To be honest, it's a terrific serve, but he has the advantage of height. That was a nice change-up, Jason's second serve there, wasn't it, from 즈베레프? From John. He dropped 106. There's the guy I was talking about. We struggle to recognise a few people behind their masks, but there's certain people, not so much.
Must have been his birthday. I think he's sporting a nice new rose gold sky dweller there. So nice to see him supporting this event this weekend, even though he's struggling to get around. So the surgery went well, pretty much in the midst of rehabbing now. Let's hope we see him back out on court sooner rather than later. Big fan, of course, of the great Rod Laver.
Still think the win predictor would have Roger at 80% against us, Jason.
Minimum.
Even this week.
Even on the crutches. Multiple blows there.
40-30.
Yep, time to throw a bit of caution to the wind for John Isner out here. Hasn't played a bad match. He's had more winners than Zverev. It's just the unforced errors. 17 for him, just the 6 for Zverev.
Game.
Lovely second serve there too. Does have the advantage of serving first as well, so he can try to apply a little bit of pressure.
3 games to 2.
Serves to draw level. It's 3-2 now, seconds.
Mix up a little bit.
I don't hear you.
In the juice squad.
Well, this is something that we noticed, obviously, in the tiebreaker in the opening set. This is where he started the match off, Zverev, returning against John Isner. He was 2 meters behind. In the tiebreaker, he went back, as you can see, 4.5 meters behind the baseline to return. He made 3 out of 4 first serves return in that opening set tiebreaker, which he ultimately claimed. And he has stayed there ever since. He's found something that he feels very comfortable with, returning that serve. And we saw he was pretty close in the last John Isner service game to be able to get in the break. And that's going to be interesting to see whether Isner perhaps could take a little bit of pace off his first serve to get that ball to die a little bit more as it's arriving at Zverev, rather than serving bigger and allowing the ball to carry on to the German as well. So that's certainly food for thought for John Isner in terms of the difference now from Zverev in terms of his return position.
One of the aspects that makes these particular matchups so fascinating in a competition like this. How much of an adjustment are you willing to make? How much input do you get from the captains, from the other players on the team? How much are you willing to take that on board? Are you aware of that and aware of the fact that it is easier for Zverev if you're hitting a pacier serve? How aware do you think he is of that?
He will be aware that he's dropped deeper. No doubt. Optically, he would have seen that the German has gone deeper, and he would be thinking about, well, the angles have certainly been opened up for me for my favourite sort of serve on the juice and on the outside. But what it has allowed is the ability, certainly on the outside, if John doesn't hit the target, to drill that backhand that he loves so much back at him. So suddenly a little bit of a fear factor on that serve if he doesn't hit his spot. On this side, I don't think it's bothered him as much so far. But I do think you might see a little bit of a few more off-pace deliveries from John here. That's a 109, and we know he's up around the 130s mile per hour first serve, so smart serving already from Isner. It may just force Zverev to have to move forward, and then he'll lose a little bit of time on the ball.
Spreading the ball really nicely there.
Got to keep those numbers in context, of course, when you look at the 25 winners that he's hit. Obviously, he's had 13 aces to that total. He's obviously had the net points won as well, some of the winning volleys that he's obviously cut off, but throughout the course of the match, just the 4 forehand winners for John and the 1 on the backhand side. 6 for Zverev off the forehand, 5 off the backhand, so that's why he's finding it more complicated.
Big picture. It's all about continuing to hold and give himself a shot in another tiebreak. score. 2 points for a win here on day 2-3 as we head into our final Sunday, so there's still time for Team World to catch up and reel Team Europe in. It's a lovely close. Not quite disguising that little chip enough. Zverev knew it was coming. And doesn't hesitate.
all.
Seen a couple of those now. Very strange. Half chance here now for Isner. Team World.
Quite like to hear what Team World were thinking and saying about that particular shot that came off Zverev's racket.
Beautifully done. Didn't quite time the return, but was able to apply just enough pressure to draw the error.
Well, he must have known it was coming. Zverev has hit so many of his second serves into the forehand side of Isner, particularly on that outside.
This is what he's been waiting so patiently for. Isner on the charge there, just wasn't able to time any of those shots really well enough. Zverev holding his nerve.
30-40.
Team Europe not out of the woods yet.
But he's not going to hurt him if you make that first serve, and if you're in Zverev's shoes, that's why you want to make that first serve out wide. There's no way that Isner's going to flash a backhand return past you. He might off the forehand. Very smart serving there from Zverev.
More of the same there.
Advantage, Team Europe.
Failing to capitalise on his first break points of the match. That could prove to be a crucial hold for Zverev. 4-3 now, second set. First match of the evening session features Daniil Medvedev, his debut for Team Europe, the US Open champion. He seemed to be fairly relaxed this week and very much looking forward to taking part in the Laver Cup here. Russia triumphing in the ATP Cup earlier this year, and he will face Diego Schwartzman. Shapovalov, of course, for Team World this evening against Daniil Medvedev, not Schwartzman. What are you expecting from Daniil Medvedev this evening, Mark?
Not too many errors. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a lot of returns being made into court. I'm expecting a lot of good, solid first serves from him. I mean, you do feel as though it's tailor-made for him, even though he has got that slight losing record against Shapovalov. But the confidence that he has and the way that he plays, and also the flatness of his shot, is not going to be easy for Shapovalov to kind of be as aggressive as he likes to be. So, yeah, tough matchup, I would feel.
Next first service.
And especially if this match goes the way of Team Europe as well, because you start getting into that territory where it is absolutely must win, and then that comes with a huge amount of pressure as well for every member of Team World. Good start to this game here from Zverev, trying to impose himself. Got out of trouble with some beautiful serving in the last game. Well, he got caught in a place on the court where he needed to hit a winner, and he knew it, and that's why he tugged it so close to the line with pace, because he had moved to his forehand side, and if he didn't hit a winner, Zverev was going to have a gaping hole cross court.
Effective ability for Zverev to be able to get into the corner and then out of it with a decent neutralizing shot, a little more height on it, gave him a little more depth, a little more time to recover, added the pressure that Isner felt to try and maintain the upper hand in the rally. What an opportunity here. 3 break points.
Incredible serve. Yeah, he likes to go out wide, and maybe again you can say to Zverev, just go gamble on the first one there at love 40 and see what happens. But it would have been tough to have got back. The ones that he has returned very well is just because John hasn't located it quite as accurately as that. Love the serve out wide on the juice, but we've seen he's had to change it a little bit with Zverev's position, but he went there again and Zverev had gone there. That's probably a good outcome for John, to be honest, that he's missed his first serve.
Well left from Isner. Might commit to the return there.
It's surprising from that deep that he still feels that he would prefer to take on his backhand than his forehand and bring himself more to the middle of the court. puts a lot of pressure on him to hit a great return when you've taken yourself further out of court rather than running around it and hitting with your forehand off that serve.
It's two that have come and gone. Here's a third. Isner digging deep here.
What a serve.
Just a look of sheer disbelief on Zverev's face there.
Advantage, team world.
Indeed. What a huge hold there for Team World.
Well, he was the talisman last night. He may well be the saviour of Team World today, John Isner. And it may be that sequence of points that allows him to wriggle out of this particular contest with a win. Desperate times, and he's delivered.
Huge momentum swings in the last couple of games, isn't there, with those two breakpoint opportunities that he failed to convert, and Zverev there with three. Shot of it all. It's four apiece.
Danila.
It's the problem when you don't have an even attack off forehand and backhand sides, and you look at the players that have troubled the big three over the course of the last sort of decade or so. They've been able to hurt you with their backhands as well. John there, once he'd made the move to go around, he's got to pull the trigger.
Danila.
How long is that list of players that have troubled the big three in the last
Yeah, not particularly long. No, Wawrinka, Murray, Del Potro.
Thirteen, 15.
He timed that one well.
14, 15.
Again, very unlucky there.
Good.
Excellent service game that from Zverev. Sometimes there is a little bit of a hangover. He had opportunities in the previous game, but no evidence of one there. 5-4 now.
5 games to 4.
Second or first?
Both. He was going wide, a lot of times wide on both sides.
Yeah.
Remember on the I told you
Should
there?
be back or not?
I think so.
Why not?
Your return is so good.
You're doing great,
Good, but I didn't
Sasha.
break him once.
You're doing great, man.
Yeah, but he's feeling the pressure, huh? Doing great, huh? You're doing great on the return. Yes. Really? Vamos.
Short on input there. Fans have certainly enjoyed the opportunity here in Boston. We come and enjoy flavors of the Laver Cup. Prague, Chicago and Geneva previously. Boston here this weekend. The O2 Arena in London. They will be hosting 12 months' time. An opportunity there to celebrate a phenomenal competition that grows year upon year. A generation of superstars this time around. The competition has been as fierce as ever. Isn't needs to hold to stay in the match for Team 1.
Good work from Isner. He managed to stay up on the baseline, keep himself where he could be effective if Zverev eventually dropped one short enough for him to latch onto, and that's exactly what happened. Nice patience and consistency from the American.
The short volleys with a little bit of slice have been so effective all weekend.
Yeah, nice off-pace delivery as well. 101 on our first serve. Gets himself, look, inside the service line when he's dropping them down at 120 plus. He's not able to get himself that close to the net. He's taken advantage of the deep position that Zverev's taken up and was encouraged to continue to take up by his teammates at the last sit down as well.
It was interesting, wasn't it? Feli Lopez saying, you know, he does favour the wide serve to both the right and the left court. Lopez has done a really good job, I think, at the alternates. What an advice to all of the players this weekend. And Twist another one. Picks his moments very wisely. Zverev very vocal in this particular match. Rublev rather, with Zverev.
Teamwork.
What service game worth its weight in gold at this stage in the proceedings? Readying themselves for perhaps one last shot, trying to manufacture a vital break before the tie-break time.
Great entertainment between these two. Crowd absolutely lapping it up. not the outcome the majority of the fans
15
here
love.
inside the garden wanted to see. But great effort from Zverev to track that one down as well.
Return. A hypersonic missile from Isner there.
Precious few second serves on the outside have gone out wide, and that's why he's trying to keep that backhand return a little quiet. Not sure he'll get another look at one for a while. That was terrific from Isner.
Same there, this time off the clear hand. This was similar to the one that failed to land in the opening set tiebreak. What can he do here? Anticipated so well. Zverev knows that was down.
Okay.
But he's not out. Another superb point from Isner, particularly the forehand. He's making his move.
That just got his toe stuck in the corner there. Thankfully it's not his ankle.
40.
What a game Isner's putting together here.
When you've had so few chances, there's a little anxiety attached to it once you've hit such a good return. I was surprised with the direction of the first serve really from Zverev. He got the kind of return that John can produce off the forehand back, and he's lucky to get away with it. He did do a good job of keeping the ball low though, Zverev. It wasn't the easiest attacking ball from down there for John.
Another chance gone a-begging.
Well, a bit of German precision attached to that volley. Brilliant approach shot, an even better attempt at the pass before that absolute gem of a shot from Zverev breaks Team World's hearts again.
Everything he including the kitchen sink and Zverev in that game, but all to no avail once more. Team Europe get the hold, and they lead 6-5 now.
Game to 5.
Featherweight, fucking champion. Super Bowl, man. Bravo.
Yeah, I know, but man, on that when you were going to come in on that point, don't be too hard to do. You're sick. Just hold one point at a time here. First serves, get to the bus stop. If you return like that in a tie break, I'm backing you every day. Right? Come on. Every point here, though. Every point. First serve, take your time. There's no shot clock. Take your time. Take as much time as you need. No rush. And then Buster, 1 point at a time. Here you go, bro. Come on.
Nice positive input from Nick Kyrgios there. Right in Isner's shell-like. Continue to build up the confidence.
Time.
Returned that effectively in a tie-break. Give himself the best possible chance.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where these first two serves go from here from John. If I'm trying to help Sasha here, I'm going to just guess out wide on the juice side, and I'm going to guess out wide on the ad, and just try and go with that to start with. If he beats you on the other two, I kind of feel it's going to be good enough, and don't overcommit. If he doesn't hit his spot perfectly the other way, you've got a chance of putting a racket on the ball, but don't give him the kind of easy route. He's very comfortable hitting the slider out wide at the moment.
And even if you don't get the break here, it gives something different to think about in the tie-break, doesn't it?
Shoved up a little bit here, it looks like Zverev, fractionally. There's that serve. He does get at times a little too, you can see, you can't see it on the TV, but I was looking at Zverev there, he was just shadowing his forehand, going up the back of the ball rather than over the top of it. Too much cover at times on that shot for the German. Just pepper that forehand, who knows? Suddenly see that first one come off his strings and feel as though he can really try and break that shot down. But at 30 love, John Isner doesn't lose too many service games from here. Tie break beckoning.
Nice idea, just wide though.
They're actually trialling a light system, aren't they, for fans, I believe, for those kind of close calls when the crowd are making an awful lot of noise and you're not quite sure whether you've heard it out or there's been a call, so that everyone in the stadium can actually tell what's happened.
Well, that's what happens on the umpires piece of kit, doesn't it? They have a light, the yeah and nay, whether the ball is in or out, and why don't we all get to see that as well? Both the fans in the house and those of us on TV too.
It's a tough serve to read. When you look at his ball toss, I mean, it goes so far to the right that you almost, as a returner, subconsciously are looking for the slider, and he still beats you out wide with that.
In the lead as far as the ace race is concerned, 17 in total now compared to Zverev's 13. Both have served exceptionally well throughout this encounter.
All of the 13 for Zverev as well have gone on the juice side. One ace out on the ad yet, Zverev.
Game, team, work.
Been an awesome passage of play for Isner. Been so positive, so confident, and so aggressive. Not as yet unable to break. So we do indeed into the
Game
second
on.
tiebreak of the match.
Second set, tiebreak.
Return. Absolutely superb. Exactly what Nick Kyrgios was demanding of Isner in this tiebreak.
1-0, team work.
Beautiful close. Nice and tight on the net there. Suddenly there's plenty to celebrate on the Team World bench.
2-0, team work. Zero. Team work.
What a reprieve that is for Zverev. Another beautiful strike on the return, isn't it? Just seeing the ball like a football on the return, giving himself chances galore. There was a big flash within the stadium there that Zverev was just asking what it was.
Given how aggressive Isner's been on the return, misses like that shouldn't worry him in the slightest. He's made enough.
3-2, team work.
Still has a slender lead here.
He can shrug that off. The only person who's going to worry is the pool girl. That's a little closer to her than she would have liked. But his job isn't done.
Such a big point this one, isn't it, to change ends to the 4-2 lead. To be reeled back in. 3 apiece. What a return. He read the serve that time. He moved up the court to take it nice and early. And what an angle he was able to manufacture.
Well, I think Jim Courier is sitting about 4 meters away from Sasha's backhand there. Would probably be wondering what John Isner was doing there. That was a 97-mile-an-hour second serve into the absolute strength and money shot of his opponent. You can't let him have that shot on such a big point. And then to come in behind it, behind a lack of pace as well, just gives Zverev that precious commodity of time to do what he wants with that shot. He's made so many good decisions in this match, Isner. That wasn't one of them.
Another momentum swing here. Honours even at 3 apiece, but Zverev surely feeling like he's got the upper hand at the moment. What a response!
Zverev asking what that flash was. It was a John Isner first serve down the tee, keeping him just ahead, but back on serve in this second set breaker. Just a great serve for me against John Isner if you've got pace, and he's got loads of pace. That was a very safe serve from Zverev. He's not going to beat you cross court off a first serve like that, John, so cover the line, cover the middle of the court, and you're going to get a good play more often than not on the first shot. Exceptional first serve again, located to the backhand of Isner, who again is not going to beat you from pace. We saw at the start of this breaker that he can beat you with pace off his forehand if you go there, but he just hasn't allowed him the luxury. And that is good intellectual play there from Zverev. Again, the execution of the highest order.
Isner with the upper hand initially in this tie-break. Zverev now 2 points away from victory. What a volley!
Johnny Mack would have been happy with that one. And he was happy with it. He was happy for his player that he came up with it. There is no room for error. That was flawless from John Isner. Not only did he go wide, but his serve down the tee on the previous juice point had pulled Zverev into the middle, and there was more space.
Teamwork.
Isner points away from staying alive. In the house. What a response from Zverev there.
Great dig out of his corner here. John's played this shot a lot. Sasha has not come up with a little feel shot. until then, till it mattered the most.
What a point. What a set of tennis this has turned out to be. A pendulum of opportunity has swung one way and then the other. Nothing to choose between the two now.
Interesting decision to go out wide, wasn't it, to the forehand, the danger shot.
This is where the angels and the devil meet. Set points, match points hereafter. Of real inspiration from Isner.
Seven, 6. Team World.
Point.
Second set, Team World. 7-6. 1 set all.
More inspired tennis from John Isner. Reserving his very best for the Laver Cup.
Will now be played to decide the match.
We saw it yesterday evening in the doubles. The only point that Team World have been able to win so far. And that was one of the best sets of tennis I've ever seen from Isner. I'd like them apples, Mark.
What an event this is. Year on year, it comes around and you keep wondering whether it's going to keep reproducing the magic that we saw in the previous edition. And it does. And the players deserve so much credit for that, as do the fans here in Boston as well, that have given John that lift to give the gravitas to the moment as well that we just saw. We'll see the stats, we'll talk through them. How's that for a set of serving? 81% of his first serves going in. And credit to Sasha as well to stay competitive all the way through that, but what drama towards the end of that second set tiebreaker. What a couple of shots. He bookended it with a couple of unbelievable ground strokes, didn't he? The forehand return on the opening point, the backhand before the penultimate point from John Isner was a career best. Nobody's put a foot wrong.
Both challenging one another to raise the level of their game. And as that set got deeper and deeper. That volley there, we forgot about that. So good to keep him in that tiebreak, demanding more from the fans. And he got it. that John Isner has been the standout performer so far for Team World. Kept them in the hunt yesterday evening and doing more of the same here now. This is what they came for. This is what they want. Time now to take a deep breath and start afresh.
Just the third time in Laver Cup history that we've had continuous breakers in a match as well as we go to the Laver breaker here, and no great surprise the previous couple of times as we see the win predictor here swinging one way and then the other throughout this contest. John Isner's been involved. Dominic Thiem 2017 and against Federer in 2018.
Fancied that, didn't he? Timed it well too.
1-0.
He has to have the courage of his convictions. He has to keep going for it. Stick with the goal. And he's brought to the dance. That's the adjustment that he made in that second set. It worked really well. More off-pace serving too. Once he figured out that Zverev was standing a little deeper, so it's been an intelligent match. It's been full of wonderful shot making too. Such an intelligent volley.
Great peripheral vision, perhaps didn't have quite the peripheral vision on the backhand that he had in the previous tiebreaker that brought an outstanding shot out of John Isner off the backhand side, but not this time. That was coolness, calmness, and he collects the point on the way.
Even very much up against it. Tail end of that second set, having won 16 of his last 17 singles matches, he will still be exceptionally confident here of eventually prevailing. Great little dig there from Zverev. He had a lot of distance to cover there and yet was still able to put just enough on the backhand to draw the error.
3-2 Europe.
Yeah, just a little bit obvious that he wants to go to that play, John Isner, isn't it? And he loves that dipping ball. He's been waiting to find that particular return. But as you say, the net skimmer of a backhand was exquisite.
Refusing to be ruffled.
What an occasion this has proved to be. Tennis has germinated pretty nicely here in the garden, hasn't it? A place that usually houses basketball and ice hockey. They bring a tennis court to it, and these fans have absolutely loved every twist and turn in this contest. It is advantage Europe, as you can see in the bottom right of your screen, 5-1 in terms of the points won so far, and it is advantage Team Europe in this match tiebreaker.
Just missed it.
5-2.
There's always going to be a little margin for error when Isner taking full-blooded cuts at the ball on the return. He makes some miraculous ones, but then also missed the odd one by mere millimeters. And Federer knows only too well that these are the matches that mean so much to the players. He's been involved in so many of those over the years in this competition. He'll be eager to be involved next year at the O2 Arena as well. Keeps Team World in the hunt.
Team Europe.
22nd of the match for Isner. Not enough on the serve, too much time for Zverev there to pick the play. And he's done a magnificent job here of silencing the crowd too.
6-3.
Yeah, in amongst all the mayhem and the madness and the magic of this particular contest, he's done a great job of digging down into the granular here, and Zverev, and figuring out what Isner's patterns are going to be and how he can counter it, and he's done a lovely job so far early on in this match tiebreaker of grabbing the lead. The returns have been the best of the match so far from him.
Responding well in the face of adversity is what great champions are able to do. Zverev has done that magnificently well here. Another bruising body blow from Zverev there.
Nonchalantly walked off after he hit this shot, didn't he, as well, Zverev? As soon as it left his racket, even though it clipped the top of the tape, it's like, I haven't missed that one since I was a teenager. Code red situation for Team World.
because that was a return right out of the top drawer. He did 3 hands on that thing to maintain control of it.
Look at his eyes. He kept it on the ball all the way through the shot. He knew where the court was. He knew he had to kind of just elevate the ball enough to get it over the net. But his eyes were so firmly glued on the strings of his racket to make sure he got the kind of contact he needed.
You do have a little bit of additional wriggle room in these extended Laver breakers. If we can just win this point here, apply a little bit of scoreboard pressure, you never know. Very nicely as far as Isner's concerned, but a real let-off there.
Team Europe.
Makes the previous shot even more valuable, doesn't it, Jason? Had he not made that pickup, you probably feel as though Zverev would have dropped the dagger on Team World right there and then.
Struck. Great vision there, and what execution.
9-5 Team Europe.
Isner doing his utmost to try and gain the upper hand in the rally. Zverev refusing to yield. Here he is. 4 match points.
He's done it. Team Europe.
Another victory for Team Europe.
7-10-5.
What a match. Rearguard action. The highest order from Isner. Business end of that second set, but it wasn't to be. Couldn't carry that momentum that he created into the Laver breaker when Zverev stood firm. Great match and a hard-fought victory.
Another just tremendous match. Another match that just goes to show why the rankings aren't lying out here at the moment in this year's Laver Cup, is it? It was always going to be a fairly tough task for Team World to get past their higher-ranked opponents, and especially today when you looked at the order of play, and so it's proven to be. That was an amazing effort from John Isner. Played some of the best tennis of his season out there, and he's come off marginally second best, but it's another 2 points in the bank for Team Europe, and it just makes the road back to recovery for Team World that much harder.
There's some remarkable inspirational tennis from Isner in that second set, and more of the same in the doubles yesterday evening. There's no doubt that he has left it all out there on the court for Team World. It just wasn't to be. Zverev, so much success of late, having now won 17 of his last 18 singles matches. Gold medalist, of course, at the Olympics, and is continuing to increase that confidence level with each match. Let's get courtside now. He's with Jim Curry.
Well, Sasha, that was an incredibly nerve-wracking match to watch for all of us in the building. What was it like for you to play?
I think in this format, playing against John is probably one of the toughest opponents there can be. I mean, he's the best server of all time. He's hitting the ball extremely hard, extremely well today. And to be honest, I played a pretty good match. And
you think?
Even the second set that I lost, I don't think I did many things wrong. So that just shows that the match was very high level, and I'm obviously happy to give the Europe the lead now.
Yeah, it was incredibly high level from both of you. Phenomenal tennis. You have one of the best first serves in the game. You just said he has the best serve of all time. What's it like to face that serve at this level of intensity?
Yeah, I mean, we could have also just skipped 2 hours of the tennis and just went to 3 tiebreakers straight, to be honest. So. But both of us had believed that we can break each other. We are still very young, so we're very foolish. So yeah, maybe next time we talk about it in the locker room and we just go to tiebreak straight.
He's not as young as you. Not even close. In that second set, when you had those breakpoint chances, weren't able to get them, we saw your entire team come off the bench to help Captain Borg give you some support and advice. What did they tell you?
Yeah, I mean, my entire team was telling me to step back on the returns. Then Roger is behind me telling me to step in on the returns. And then I was confused. At the end.
He says he didn't say that.
No, in the end, I mean, I didn't know who to listen to. Either I listened to 8 people on the bench or I listened to 20 Grand Slams over there. So I was like, I have to. Okay, at the end of the day, I won, and that's the most important. If I would have lost and then somebody would have come up to me, yeah, but we told you this, yeah, but then the other person told me that, and then it would have been a mess. So now when I won, nobody will care about it, nobody will talk about it anymore, and that's the most important thing.
It's the great equalizer. Let's bring in another great man with a lot of major titles to join you. Your captain, he's going to join you here, Bjorn Borg. Well done, Bjorn.
I go like this.
Yeah, you're not as tall as Sasha.
He's a little taller than me. So.
Now, Bjorn, I just want to ask you, you're one of the all-time greats, and you've played so many all-time greats as well in your time. What do you think when you see 2 people serving like that? What would that been like for you to face?
No, it's unbelievable. The serving was incredible, and for him to pull this match off was incredible. John played really well. I mean, not only serving. He played well yesterday in the doubles. Today he played a great match. And Sasha here, I'm very proud of him to win this match. And it's very important for Team Europe to get some points. It's a long way to go, so we need every point we can get.
Well, it takes 13 points to win the Laver Cup. You now have 7 instead of being 5-3 if you weren't able to find your way through this one. Now it's 7-1. You were a ruthless competitor. You're still ruthless. I see it. How do you keep your team focused? They're a little more than halfway to the finish line.
Well, it's of course we're here to win. It's the same with Team World. We have 12 best players in the world, and they're competing here. We see great tennis, great matches, and that's what everybody wants to see. So it's a few more matches tonight, and it's going to be a great day tomorrow. But we are halfway to defend our title, and it's still a lot of great tennis to be played.
Yeah, you do. You have a great match coming up here at 7 o'clock, in fact. It's going to be Denis Shapovalov for Team World, a talented shot-making lefty, against the reigning U.S. Open champion, your man, Daniil Medvedev. What are you thinking about that match?
I think it's going to be a great match. He's coming for a win U.S. Open. Shapo, played well in Wimbledon. He's been playing well all year. So I think it's going to be a very close match. And good tennis. So we just have to see.
Congratulations, Bjorn. Congratulations, Sasha. Congratulations to Team Europe. More work ahead. What a match.